On the occasion of our 5th wedding anniversary, I decided to commemorate the day by ordering a cake from a popular bakery to share with my husband. However, as I approached the bakery, I noticed a sizable crowd gathered outside. Among the people waiting in line were a man and a woman, passionately embracing each other. To my dismay, the man was my own husband, Noah. Without hesitation, I pulled out my phone and dialed his number. Noah reluctantly separated himself from the woman to take the call, his tone curt as he inquired about my needs. I remained composed and requested, "I understand you're busy, but could you please ask your other woman what shade of lipstick she's wearing?" Noah's demeanor shifted visibly as he scanned the area, eventually spotting me through the bakery's glass entrance. Our eyes locked, triggering a flood of memories, from our days in school uniforms to our wedding attire. We had gone from having nothing to achieving everything together. Yet, after 5 years of marriage, our bond had deteriorated, succumbing to the temptation of vibrant red lips. I carried the cake outside while Noah hurried to confront the woman. "Emily, whatever you need to discuss, let's do it at home. Don't create a scene here," he said. The woman Emily peeked from behind him. She was young and attractive, exuding the confidence of someone accustomed to getting her way. "You must be Mrs. Noah. Isn't today your anniversary? Noah even mentioned he was buying a cake to celebrate with you." I felt disheartened by how forward mistresses have become, openly discussing their affairs with spouses in public. Holding the cake aloft, I glanced at Noah, fighting the urge to slap him. "Are you coming home with me now, or are you going to finish kissing your little lover first?" Noah's expression darkened. "Emily, this is a misunderstanding. Why are you being so hostile? Fine, I'll come home with you. Happy now? I didn't know where this trendy bakery was, so I brought Lisa along to help." "I just wanted to make you happy, but I clearly messed it up," he continued, reaching out to take the cake from me. I released it abruptly, and the cake crashed to the ground, shattering into pieces, much like our marriage. "Unrecoverable. Disgraceful." Lisa covered her mouth in shock. "Oh my, Mrs. Noah, you're being so unreasonable. Is this really worth getting upset over? Noah, if things continue like this, I won't dare go out with you next time. Who knows if your wife will slap me?" Her temper was visibly flaring. Noah glanced down at the ruined cake and then at me with anger. "What's wrong with you? Do you have to make a scene? Can't you control your spoiled temper even in public?" Without warning, I slapped him across the face and then turned to Lisa. "Don't worry, little girl, my hand only hit my husband. You're just a toy, not worth my effort." Lisa stomped her foot in anger. "What did you just say?" Noah felt utterly humiliated. He grabbed my hand, gritting his teeth. "Emily, don't push your luck. You hit me in public. Have you thought about the consequences?" I shook his hand off. "How about I find someone else to kiss? If you can tolerate it, maybe I can too." Noah was stunned. "You're insane, completely unreasonable." I left him standing there and drove home. Our home was beautifully decorated with roses and scented candles, Noah's favorites. His preferred wine was already poured, and a gift awaited on the bedside table, all set for his return. I discarded the roses, recalling how Noah had cherished our anniversaries each year, making grand gestures and promises. On our 1st anniversary, he had declared, "Honey, from now on, every year on this day, we'll celebrate together. We'll do this for the rest of our lives." I poured the wine down the sink. On our 2nd anniversary, he had announced, "Emily, I just bought a company today. I'm so excited. Our anniversary is truly a lucky day." I threw away the steak I had cooked. On our 3rd anniversary, Noah had said, "Baby, when are we going to have a child? I'm going to spoil you both to the heavens." I stored the candles away. On our 4th anniversary, he had shared, "Today, I want to show you the hotel I built. That's my gift to you." Our memories abruptly ended at the 5th year. Looking at myself in the mirror, I saw Emily crying with despair in her eyes. A WeChat notification interrupted my thoughts. I checked my phone and saw a new friend request from Lisa, Noah's lover from earlier that day. After a moment's hesitation, I accepted. She quickly sent over a dozen photos and videos capturing intimate moments between her and Noah, followed by a message. "People who love each other should be together. Shouldn't the loser know when to step aside? He told me he feels a sense of energy and joy with me that he hasn't felt in a long time. And you're like a boring dead fish, pushing away the nausea." I reviewed the photos and saved them. Then I visited her social media profile, filled with daily life snapshots, eating, playing, shopping, traveling. In most of them, Noah appeared somewhere in the corner, sometimes his hand, other times a shoulder or his back. After 5 years together, I could recognize him in these small details, even with my eyes closed. Noah returned home, loosened his tie, and lounged casually on the couch. "Since you've already seen it, why don't we talk?" he said nonchalantly. I sat across from him, staring at the man I shared my life with every night, now seeming like a stranger. Why does he now feel like someone I don't even know? When did this begin? I pondered before confronting him. Noah sighed softly. Does it really matter when it started? What matters is that she's young, beautiful, and full of energy. I replied, "Emily, I'm 30 years old. I'm exhausted. When I come home and you start talking about household chores, I feel even more drained. I want to come home to rest and be happy, not hear you nag. But Lisa is different. She's like a reckless child who barged into my life, turning everything upside down. And I like it. I haven't felt this kind of freshness and vitality in a long time." He smiled, clearly enjoying the thought. His smile, once reserved for me with love in his eyes, was now directed toward another woman. "You don't understand," he continued. "She reminds me so much of you when you first started college, full of life, the center of attention, with everyone wanting to be around you." I interrupted him, frowning and clicking my tongue. "So the lively Emily became boring at 30, and you found a girl in her early 20s when she lost her energy? Are you planning to replace her too? Noah, is this how marriage vows change because things aren't exciting anymore? Because life has become dull? Do you think cheating is justified?" Tears welled up in my eyes. Whether from sadness or anger was unclear. After we married, we started a company together and worked tirelessly side by side. One day, after drinking excessively to secure a major deal, I developed a stomach ulcer. Noah was by my hospital bed, crying like a child, promising to ensure I'd live the happiest life. Once I was discharged, he didn't let me return to the company, insisting I stay home to recover and regain my health. No matter how busy he was, he would rush home to cook for me. Every morning, he prepared millet porridge to help heal my stomach. Even my friends admired how lucky I was to have such a caring husband, saying, "What other man does that for his wife?" They believed I was filled with happiness, thinking that once I recovered, we'd have a child and our family would be perfect. Noah remained cold and detached as he said, "I didn't want you to find out. I didn't want you to overthink things. But now that you know, you're making a scene for everyone to see. Emily, look around you. Men with my kind of wealth. Who doesn't have a bit of fun outside? Divorces are happening left and right. Only I haven't abandoned my wife. I've never wronged you. I give you enough money, let you use the cards freely, and you don't even have to work. You just need to stay beautiful. Do you know how many people envy your position? And yet, you're still not satisfied." My hands and feet felt numb. I never expected to hear such shameless words from Noah. I stared at him intensely. "Noah, what did you promise my parents before we got married?" Before our marriage, I had taken Noah to my parents' graves, where he had vowed, "Mom, Dad, I will take care of Emily, protect her for life, and love her forever." He had placed the engagement ring on my finger in front of them, swearing eternal love. Yet 5 years later, those promises echoed in my mind as I faced the man who had become unrecognizable. Noah slammed his cup down forcefully. "Here we go again, Emily. Can you stop being so childish? Do you really think every promise can be kept? Back then, I truly believed I'd love you forever, and I haven't treated you badly. I'm still good to you, still protecting and loving you. Look, if you hadn't seen what you saw today, you'd still be happy. Why can't you just let it go? Can't you pretend it never happened?" He stood up, walked over to me, and sat beside me, wrapping his arm around my shoulder. "Honey, okay, fine, it's my fault. If you really care this much, I'll end it right now. Clean it all up. I promise it won't happen again, okay? Just calm down, please. It's all my fault. I was wrong." It seemed that after a man cheats, he can remain so composed, acting as if the woman is overreacting. I couldn't stand him sitting next to me as he leaned in to kiss me. The strong scent of perfume overwhelmed my senses and I felt nauseous. I hurried to the bathroom, vomiting until I felt dizzy. Noah followed, anxiously patting my back. What's wrong? Did you eat something? Is your stomach acting up again? I pushed his hand away weakly. Get away from me. You're covered in another woman's perfume. He immediately stepped back, his voice tinged with helplessness. Okay. I'll go take a shower right now. All right? I lay in bed, and once he was clean and free of the scent, Noah lay down beside me. I tried to move away, but his hand gently covered my stomach, warming it as he always did when my stomach hurt. It felt as though we had returned to the past, as if nothing had happened today. Hasn't your stomach gotten better? Why is it acting up again? Noah asked softly from behind me. Maybe we should go to the hospital tomorrow. I remained silent for a moment before finally responding. No, it's not necessary. I know my stomach. Of course I knew. I wasn't vomiting because of a stomach issue. I was pregnant, 2 months along. The pregnancy test and ultrasound were in a small gift box on the bedside table, intended as my 5th anniversary gift to him, but now it seemed pointless to give it. Noah, lying beside me, believed he had successfully comforted me and soon fell asleep. I lay awake in the darkness, eyes wide open, tears streaming into my hair. The pain in my heart was suffocating, making me feel like a desolate ruin in my mind's eye. All I could perceive was the wreckage of my soul, irreparably shattered. In his sleep, Noah turned toward me, placing his hand on my waist. He murmured softly, "Baby?" My heart fluttered, my eyes stinging, but then I heard him whisper again, "Lisa." Tears flowed uncontrollably, reminiscent of when my mother used to comfort me as a child, telling me to cry when I was hurt, but to smile afterward. In my heart, I whispered, "Mom, I'll cry just this once. After this, I'll start over." In the middle of the night, Noah's phone rang. He answered immediately, got out of bed, and moved to the bathroom. Through the closed door, I could faintly hear him say, "Don't cry, I'll be right back." He dressed and quietly slipped out the door. I knew it was her, the young girl calling him. In the darkness, her delicate voice echoed in my mind. The next morning, I made myself a pot of millet porridge to warm my body, preparing for the tough day ahead. Later that morning, I arrived at the hospital as scheduled. I had booked an appointment the night before to undergo the procedure today. The head doctor, who had been treating me for the past few years since I first wanted a child, looked at the ultrasound scan seriously. "Are you sure you want to do this? It wasn't easy for you to conceive. Maybe you should discuss this with your husband." I forced a stiff smile. "There's no need to discuss it when it comes to this child. I'll make the decision on my own." The doctor sighed and called the nurse to prepare me. The operating table felt cold, and my teeth chattered. "This is your last chance. Are you absolutely sure?" With tears streaming down my face, I closed my eyes and nodded. It was a minor procedure, but I had lost a tiny life I had longed for, and the timing was all wrong. I left the operating table alone, biting my lip with cold sweat as I sat on the hospital bench to rest. A nurse offered me a cup of hot water and asked, "Do you need someone to pick you up?" "You don't look well." I shook my head. "No, I don't need anyone. I no longer have any family." Wrapping my coat tightly around me, I was about to leave the obstetrics and gynecology department when a couple approached from the opposite direction. The woman leaned into the man, pouting. "I was in so much pain last night. I was terrified. All this suffering, who am I doing it for? If not for you?" Noah gently comforted her. "All right, my dear, you've had it tough. Once my son is born, I'll give him a spanking to make it up to you." Lisa pouted playfully. "You try spanking my son? I dare you." They laughed and joked as they walked in, but upon seeing me blocking their path, Noah immediately released Lisa. "Emily, what are you doing here?" I stood there, pale and silent. Noah explained, "Lisa wasn't feeling well. She's just a young girl without any family here. I was just bringing her to the hospital. That's all, nothing else." Lisa sneered. "Emily, you're so petty. Following your husband around like this? I can't stand women like you. Your husband doesn't love you anymore. So what's the point of clinging to him every day? Your husband doesn't love you anymore. So what's the point of clinging to him every day?" Noah quickly intervened. "Lisa." The young woman grew upset, rubbing her stomach. "You're yelling at me? Keep it up and I'll take your son and leave you. I glanced at her stomach. No wonder she felt so confident. But none of it mattered anymore. It had nothing to do with me. I lacked the energy to respond, so I turned to leave. Noah grabbed my arm forcefully. "Emily, don't act like this. Just staying silent, it's like I told you. I was only bringing her to the hospital." "Why are you following me like this and not saying anything? I hate that superior attitude of yours." He grew angrier and pulled harder. I lost my balance and fell to the ground, everything going black. Before I passed out, I saw a nurse rushing over. "What's wrong with you? This patient just had an abortion." "Doctor, we have a patient down." Amidst the chaos, I finally lost consciousness. When I regained consciousness, Noah was beside me, holding my hand tightly. "Honey," he said. My heart felt suffocated, and I turned my head away, not wanting to look at him. His eyes were red. "You were carrying our child. Why didn't you tell me? Why did you decide to end it on your own? I'm the father. I have the right to make this decision with you. How could you decide by yourself? You're so selfish, Emily." I stared at him, disappointment and disgust filling my eyes. Have the baby in a broken family? I didn't want to tell a child that his father cheated, that he had another woman and another child out there. Noah was speechless. I spoke coldly. "Noah, let's get a divorce. The child is gone and we have nothing left that's hard to divide. Your little lover is pregnant, isn't she? It's perfect. You love children. Divorce me, marry her, and you'll have the perfect life, a young wife, and a child to complete it." Noah shook his head, gripping my hand tightly, looking at me. "Emily, you know you're the one I truly love. The rest was just a fling. I'm not divorcing you." I pulled my hand away. "Noah, let's end things on good terms. I don't want to make this breakup ugly, and you don't want a divorce because you're worried about the company and the stock prices," I countered. "I want a divorce because, Noah, you make me sick. I'll have a lawyer draft the divorce papers. We built the company together, so we'll split the assets evenly. You just need to sign." Noah shook his head, his voice hoarse. "Emily, please, be a little softer with me. We've been in love for so many years. You can't just sentence me to death because I made one mistake. I'm sorry. Give me another chance. I won't agree to a divorce. We're meant to be together." I closed my eyes and ignored him. Was it really just one mistake that all men in the world make? After I was discharged, Noah brought me home. I ignored him, but he took a few days off work to stay with me, cooking soups and preparing meals, caring for me with the same tenderness as in our happier days. As I sipped my soup, I looked at him. "You don't need to stay with me. Go back to work. Also, aren't you going to check on your girlfriend? After all, she's carrying your child." Noah gazed at me with pity. "I told you. I'll break up with her. From now on, we'll be fine." I pulled my hand away from his. "It's unnecessary. Let's part on good terms." His face darkened slightly. "Stop being stubborn. I already told you. I won't agree to a divorce." He acted as if he had genuinely changed his mind, staying home with me every day. One night, I woke up to find he wasn't in bed. I got up and saw him standing on the balcony, smoking and talking on the phone. "Just bear with it a few more days. She wants to split the assets now, so I need to keep her calm. Once I've transferred everything, she won't get a single cent. Then, all the money will be yours and our son's." "Sweetheart." I froze on the spot. My heart completely shattered. It became clear that when someone stops loving you, their calculations can be far more ruthless than you ever imagined. I returned to the bedroom, closed my eyes, and pretended nothing had happened. I contacted my lawyer and explained my situation, including Noah's plan to transfer the assets. The lawyer advised me to gather evidence of his affair immediately. If possible, I should expose the affair publicly. The bigger the scandal, the more leverage I'd have against Noah, making it impossible for him to win in dividing the assets. I handed over all the photos and videos Lisa had sent me. The lawyer chuckled, saying, "This is a gift wrapped up for us." Sitting on the garden swing, Noah brought me a shawl and carefully draped it over my shoulders. I smiled slightly. It had been a long time since I sat here so peacefully, basking in the sun. Noah, surprised by my kind gesture, sat beside me, gently wrapping his arm around me. "If you want, I can stay with you like this every day from now on." I rested my head on his shoulder. Why don't we have some afternoon tea in the garden? The sun is so nice. I don't want to go back inside. Noah playfully pinched my nose. All right, you want afternoon tea here? I'll go prepare some snacks. I tilted my head back, letting the sun warm my face, and posted on social media, "Everything is back to how it used to be." The post included several pictures, me leaning on Noah's shoulder, him feeding me cake, and us sitting together on the swing. It all appeared peaceful, as if nothing had changed. Below the post, familiar friends liked and commented, joking about how we were showcasing our love with playful remarks. After I fell asleep, Noah went to the balcony to make another call. He sweetly reassured his mistress on the other end, "Baby, I'm just pretending. You know I don't love her. I'm just keeping her happy for now. Don't be mad. Next time, I won't even bother with her. I'll only focus on you, okay? I didn't touch her. She's so boring. How could I possibly want to be with her? Don't worry about it." I turned over and went back to sleep. The next day, I told Noah I was feeling better and suggested he return to work. "You can't let the company fall apart. This is the busiest time for business. I'll just go shopping with my girlfriends. Staying at home with you all day is so boring." Noah hugged me gently. "All right, I'll do what you say." He went back to work, but I didn't go out with friends. Instead, I received a call from Lisa requesting a meeting. She arrived in a designer maternity dress, carrying a luxury bag worth hundreds of thousands, and sat across from me with an arrogant air, caressing her stomach as she issued her challenge. "Emily, what's the point of dragging this out? Noah doesn't love you anymore. Don't you get it?" I calmly sipped my tea, barely paying her any attention. "Doesn't matter. I'm still his wife, and I enjoy everything he has." I shot her a disdainful glance. "You, on the other hand, should be careful. Everything you're spending comes from Noah, which means it's really my money. You'd better be polite to your sugar daddy, or if he gets angry, that pumpkin carriage you're riding will turn back into a pumpkin, and you'll become Cinderella again." Her face flushed with anger. "You're such a pathetic woman. You know your husband doesn't love you, yet you still cling to him. How shameless." I covered my mouth, gasping loudly. Oh my, can mistresses insult people like this now? How is it that me not getting a divorce makes me shameless? You're the one who came between a married couple? Didn't your parents teach you not to take what isn't yours? Otherwise, it's stealing. You, a mistress without morals or shame? How dare you stand in front of me and shout? And another thing, you'd better watch your tone. As long as I don't get a divorce, the child in your belly is nothing but a bastard, a love child. Got it? You tramp? After saying that, I threw a cup of iced lemon tea in her face, and her scream drew everyone's attention. I stood up and looked at her. "You're spending so much of my husband's money. Don't forget to pay for this afternoon tea." People nearby started whispering. Wow, it's the first time I've seen a mistress so arrogant. I can't stand these home-wrecking mistresses. No shame at all? And she even dares to come and negotiate with the wife? What a disgrace. If I were her parents, I'd strangle her. Didn't you hear? She's pregnant, trying to force the wife out. Absolutely shameless. Back in the day, someone like her would have been thrown into a pig cage. That evening, Noah came home furious. The moment he saw me, he stormed over. "What did you say to Lisa today?" I looked up at him, noticing the sweat on his forehead. I smiled. "Why so anxious? Didn't you say you were going to break up with her?" He was at a loss for words, and I lowered my gaze, continuing. "I didn't go looking for her. She came to me. Noah, if I'm not provoking her, you'd better make sure she doesn't provoke me." Noah sighed and slumped onto the couch, looking exhausted. "Emily, she's pregnant. It's not something I can just end immediately. You have to give me time, and I thought we'd come to an understanding. Haven't you already forgiven me?" Before he could finish, Lisa called, crying and shouting on the phone. Her parents found out about the affair and are demanding she break up with Noah. She sobbed hysterically. "Are you trying to kill me and our baby?" Noah hung up and turned to me, frowning. Now Lisa's parents know. Are you happy? Our argument at the cafe was recorded and posted online. Lisa is being torn apart as the most arrogant mistress. Married women especially hate mistresses like her. The video quickly went viral, and Lisa's parents, humiliated and pointed at everywhere they went, finally learned that their daughter had become a mistress. Furious, they threatened to come and take her back home. There aren't many concerned citizens out there. I had arranged for someone to record the video and upload it online. Noah now had two choices: either watch Lisa leave with his child or divorce me, marry Lisa and keep the child. He had to decide before Lisa's parents arrived. Lisa cried hysterically, threatening to jump off the roof. Noah gave in. "All right, I'll sign the divorce papers right away. Just come down, don't hurt the baby." The divorce agreement had long been prepared. Noah stared at it silently before finally saying, "Our company's assets aren't worth this much." I turned and pulled out a stack of documents, including proof of the asset transfers. I tossed them onto the coffee table. "Noah, I didn't expect you to be so ruthless. You cheated. And on top of that, you wanted me to leave with nothing. Did you really think that because I stayed home for a few years, I'm some idiot you can bully like this?" Thankfully, although I didn't visit the company often, many of the old employees still respected me and hoped I would return. When I asked for help, they secretly provided me with documents that made it easy for my lawyer and me to find proof of the asset transfers. "I've changed my mind. You cheated. And you're the one at fault. I'm not asking for an equal split anymore. I want 70, 30. Noah's face flushed with anger. "You're dreaming." I pulled out printed photos of him and Lisa and showed him a video on my phone. "And then there's the baby in Lisa's belly. Think carefully before you speak. Noah, if this goes to court, I won't just file for divorce. You could be charged with bigamy." He gritted his teeth, his eyes bloodshot. "Emily, do we really have to go this far?" I picked up the pen and swiftly signed my name before tossing the papers at him. "When you cheated, didn't you think about this outcome?" I added one more thing. "Do you want your child to be born without a father, just like you?" That was the final straw. Noah had been raised by his mother alone, never knowing his father. In our small town, rumors swirled, and people called him a bastard. I knew he would never let his own child go through the same. Noah finally signed the divorce papers. A month later, we finalized the divorce at the registry office. Lisa was waiting for him at the entrance, young, beautiful, wearing a maternity dress. She approached and linked arms with Noah. "Mrs. Noah, oh no, Miss Emily, would you like a ride?" I smiled faintly. "No need. I get carsick. It makes me nauseous." As I was leaving, I suddenly turned back and looked at her. "Aren't you going to hurry inside and get married? Aren't you afraid that Noah might turn around and fall for another young, beautiful, energetic girl? Then there won't be any place for you. After all, there are plenty of young girls who can have children. You've got quite a lot of competition." Lisa's face changed, and I smiled as I got into my car and left. I heard that Lisa's parents were so humiliated in their hometown that they couldn't show their faces. They weren't too happy with Noah either. He had to promise repeatedly that he had signed the divorce papers and would marry Lisa as soon as it was finalized. But after the divorce, Noah didn't have time to plan a grand wedding with Lisa because I was busy selling off my shares in the company. Noah called me, shouting from the other end of the phone, "Emily, what the hell are you doing?" I replied cheerfully, "I'm selling my shares. If you're interested, I could consider selling them to you. Highest bidder wins. Are you interested? Get in line." To keep control of the company, Noah had no choice but to buy up all the shares I was selling. But the money he had left after the divorce wasn't enough. To make up the difference, he had to sell the villa where Lisa was living. Lisa, heavily pregnant, cried and screamed, "I marry you. And you sell the house? What does that mean? Are you dissatisfied with me?" Noah tried to explain that it was an emergency, but Lisa wouldn't listen. All she knew was that not living in a luxury villa was humiliating. She had bragged to her friends about becoming Mrs. Noah. And now, what would she say to be Mrs. Noah who rents a house? She hid the property deed, infuriating Noah. For a man, business comes before anything else. But Lisa didn't understand that. She believed her love was more important. The two of them fought violently at home, and when Noah finally found the property deed, Lisa lunged to grab it. She tripped over the rug, and her stomach slammed hard into the floor. "Ah, help! It hurts so much!" Blood began to flow from between her legs. Noah froze for a moment before rushing her to the hospital. She was already 5 or 6 months pregnant, and the force of the fall caused her to lose the baby. Lisa suffered massive bleeding, and although the doctors managed to save her, they informed her that she would never be able to have children again. Lisa was devastated, crying her heart out. After being discharged from the hospital, Lisa moved into a small apartment Noah owned. Noah comforted her, holding her close. "I've bought back all the shares now. We'll get married right away, and you'll be my wife. By the end of the year, once the company's annual report is out, I'll buy you the most beautiful villa." Lisa got her wish and married Noah. She posted about it on social media for days. Meanwhile, I was on vacation at the beach and even liked one of her posts. I sold my shares and the old house, bought a new spacious apartment, and decorated it to be simple and cozy with my suitcase in hand. I began traveling the world, rekindling my college passion for writing travel blogs. Surprisingly, many people enjoyed them, and I became a somewhat popular travel influencer, living a fulfilling and happy life. As for Noah, not long after marrying Lisa, his old habits resurfaced. He started seeing a young woman fresh out of college. Young, beautiful, and full of energy, much like Lisa had been. Soon, the girl became pregnant. She turned out to be even more ruthless than Lisa, recording intimate videos with Noah and threatening to release them online if he didn't marry her, claiming they'd both go down together. When Lisa found out, the other woman was already 7 months pregnant. The girl went straight to Lisa, wasting no time. Noah told me, "You can't have kids anymore, but you're still clinging to your position as his wife. You're such a pathetic woman. You know your husband doesn't love you, yet you still won't let go. How shameless." Lisa froze for a moment, suddenly recalling how she had said the exact same thing to me when she forced me to divorce. She burst into laughter. "What goes around comes around. It's true that heaven shows no mercy." Lisa remained calm. She looked the girl in the eye and said bluntly, "I miscarried because of Noah, and now I can never have my own child. There's no way I'm getting divorced. No matter what, I won't leave. If you like him and he's willing to support you, then go ahead and let him. But as for Mrs. Noah, there's only one, and that's me." When Lisa returned home and saw Noah, she smiled thoughtfully. "You know, Emily once told me if Noah can cheat on me, saying I'm young, beautiful, and full of energy, then he'll cheat on you one day too." I didn't believe her, but now I see she was right. You really are incapable of change. But Noah, it's too bad. I can't have children anymore. I've lost too much, and I can't lose you too. So let's just live like this. Have as many children as you want with other women, but I will never agree to a divorce. When the mistress went into labor, Noah received a call in the middle of the night, panicking so much that he couldn't even drive. Lisa took the keys. "I'll drive you." She was eerily calm, driving Noah to the young woman's place, and then straight to the hospital. The girl clung to Noah, whining and wincing. "Honey, it hurts so much. Kiss me." Noah held her close, giving her a quick kiss. "We'll be at the hospital soon. Everything will be fine," Lisa nodded. "Don't worry, the pain will stop soon. The day I miscarried and lost my child, it hurt even more than this." By the time they realized something was wrong with Lisa, it was too late. Lisa gripped the steering wheel tightly, glancing at them in the back seat with a smile. "Since neither of us wants to leave him, let's stay together." Noah realized the danger. "Lisa, what are you doing?" Lisa smiled. "You once said we'd die together, on the same day, same month, same year. It's almost time. Don't worry. I've heard drowning in the ocean doesn't hurt, especially for a mother and her unborn child." Noah shook his head in terror. "No, don't." He tried to grab the steering wheel, but it was too late. Lisa slammed her foot on the gas, speeding toward the guardrail along the seaside road and crashing into the ocean below. When I saw the news, I was on vacation in Bali Island. I scrolled past it as if it were nothing more than a weather report, indifferent, looking forward to the next piece of news being more exciting and interesting. No one cared about what had happened yesterday.